Welcome everyone to the clash of generations of Indian chess. Divya Deshmukh takes on Koneru Humpy in this Armageddon struggle at the Norway Chess round 2. The classical game between them ended in a draw after Divya played an incredible opening idea. Very interesting. The game was very well fought. Both of them played really well. It was drawn, and now it's time for the Armageddon where Divya has 10 minutes must win, while Humpy, because she has black, gets 7 minutes and a draw is fine for her. 1 second increment after move 40, the players adjust their pieces and it's go time. Handshake, and Divya opens the game with pawn to e4, e5, knight comes out to c3, and knight to c6. We have knight to f3, and knight comes out to f6. The 4 knights on the board with bishop b5 quickly played. Look at the speed at which Divya is making her moves. In 6 seconds, she's made 4 moves. Humpy slows down a bit because there are a few options. You can play knight d4, you can play bishop c5, you can play bishop b4. She plays bishop to c5. And now Divya slows down herself as well. This is not, I guess, the most common way to play. d3 she goes, and now maybe knight d3, knight d4 is a nice move, because generally when these knights are traded, it's very good news for black. And also winning this pawn does not is not a great idea. I have castles and a quick d5 coming up, so Humpy could do that, but because she's not perhaps well versed with the opening, she goes short castles. And now Divya can take on c6. You maybe can't take and take and take on e5 because of queen d4 and a double attack on f2 and e5. But Divya is thinking here whether she should take the knight or she should play castles here. h3 is also possible. She goes bishop e3, which is a sensible move. The only thing now is that knight d4 is a very good idea. Knight e5, and now boom, d5. Such is the way of playing this opening up the center. ed, you can take on b5, and all of a sudden, by the way, if bishop c5, you have take on c3, take here, and rook e8, pinning the knight. So these possibilities do exist, but Humpy takes on e3. She doesn't go into it and plays a very simple setup with pawn to d6. And she tells Divya that, look, I have my pawns nicely placed. I have my bishop which is ready to come out. My 2 knights are okay. I don't have any problems. Well, I guess for Divya, is she going long castles here? She could go short castles. The f file would be open, and a typical maneuver, knight e7 to g6. Although on g6 the knight would be a bit restricted by the e3 pawn. Pawn to h3 played, maybe stopping bishop g4 ideas. c6, bishop goes back. Black's position already looks very comfortable with the pawns rolling down b5, a5. But Humpy has to be a bit careful about her time. She's at 5 minutes 17 seconds while Divya has 8 minutes 30 seconds. So one plan now is to play a4, the other is to play a3. She does go a4, and Humpy can now push forward with b4. The knight jumps back to e2. And for black now, how to create play? You want to play d5 in the right way. Right now, e5 pawn is a bit loose, so perhaps queen c7, defending the e5 pawn and preparing d5 makes a lot of sense. The other idea is to relocate your knight from f6 to d7 to c5. She goes bishop e6, and this idea is kind of mirroring what white did, white structure. So if white takes, then we have a similar structure here with the double pawns on the e file. Divya could very well consider taking on e6. And by the way, This pawn on a5 could potentially become weak with knight c1, knight b3 and attacking a5 in the endgame. Castles, wow. So she's ready to even double her pawns here, which is very interesting. Divya is making these decisions where she first took double pawns here. Now she's even ready to take double pawns here. But in doing so, she'll get the open c file. Humpy is a bit surprised about this. And she goes knight g6. Time wise, you started off with a 3-minute time gap. It has now increased to 3 minutes 30 seconds. Knight to g3 by Divya. I wonder where the knight is going. I mean, knight f5 maybe. These are the squares, but d5 is so natural now for Humpy. With the e5 pawn being protected, a d5 move makes a lot of sense. And she first takes, pawn takes, and now plays d5. Interesting. But now, do you think that the c pawn is a backward pawn on an open file? That's the question. Like, you go queen c2, you attack here, you go rook c1, you attack here. But on the other hand, white structure is so bad that even if you win this pawn, it may be still fine for black. Queen goes to b6, defending c6, also attacking the e3 pawn. Maybe I can defend it with rook e1. There's also knight f5 to contend with, because that defends e3, looks at e7, g7 and these squares. Goes rook e1, a good move. And take this move which Humpy has done so easily is perhaps a very, very dangerous move. Because think about it, this pawn is defending the c4 square. The moment you take, white is ready now to swivel the knight over to c4, and this is a beautiful outpost that looks at the d6 square, the a5 square, the e5 square. Rook d8 played, rook c1 attacking the pawn on c6. Also, queen can enter in to c5. Rook c8 defending for the time being, and now this maneuver begins. Knight d2, and black needs to do something about it. The knight on c4 would be very well placed, attacking all these squares. Maybe you quickly get knight e8, knight d6 to fight this knight. She goes pawn to c5, and this is a key error. With Humpy having 3 minutes, Divya 6 minutes 42 seconds, knight to c4. Lovely move attacking the queen. Queen comes back to c7. And how do you increase your pressure on these points? Divya says, I just am going to play rook d1. I'll trade rooks, and I think more the pieces come off the board, better for me. h4 threatened to attack the pawn on e4, but knight to f5. Aha! She's going at the d6 square. Wow. Knight d6, knight to b5 can come in. So many possibilities. White knights are just so much better than the black knights. Takes. It won't be an understatement to say that Koneru Humpy has been positionally outplayed by Divya here. Knight d6 is a very good move. Knight fd6. Just putting the knight on a good square. By the way, you can also trade here. She plays knight d6. And for Humpy, well, what to do? This is a weakness. This pawn is not so strong. Yes, the e4 pawn is a bit weak, but how do you attack it? It's just that white pieces are better. And with 2 minutes 20 seconds left, Humpy needs to find a good way to at least create some questions for Divya. Because let's imagine if you make a move like king h7, knight b5 is already a tough move to meet. Rook d1, queen d1. By the way, let's go back. She plays the move rook d7. And Humpy looks up at the clock, at the screen to see if 40 moves have been done. We are on move 26 only. And Divya goes rook d3. She's planning to double down the the d file. A very confident move because the e4 pawn for the time being is blocked by the rook. Queen d8. And now there's a very nice tactical shot. Knight to b7. Because with that you can't take the knight, the queen would hang. And then when the queen moves again, you can take on d7 or you can take on a5. You would be a pawn up. So Divya is thinking whether she should actually reap the harvest right now or she should build up. She goes for it. Knight to b7. Tactically so sharp, Divya. So ready right now in her play. Knight to b7. And queen c7, queen e7. She goes queen to c7. And now just plucking off the a5 pawn. Oh, she does it with the other knight. That makes so much more sense. Knight e4, impossible. I take on d7, I take on e4. c5 is a bit loose because I take and I will be winning another important pawn. Rook takes d3, queen takes d3. And knight to f8 played. And now Divya can actually go queen d6 coming in, because if you take, I take back with the knight and the e4 pawn is protected. And she has 5 minutes on the clock. That's insane. 5 minutes against 1 minute. Confidently plays queen to d6. And for Humpy, this is over. She's a pawn down, and now positionally also she's losing because the c5 pawn is falling. Let's imagine queen c8. I can simply take knight c5. I'm now 2 pawns up. I defend e4. e5 is a bit weak. Yeah, doesn't look great. So queen takes d6. Knight takes d6. And now knight to d7 played. One of the ideas in this position can be knight to b7 with the a pawn moving down. Or knight to c6. Yeah, this is the conversion part which has to be done carefully. Sometimes knights are pretty tricky. And by the way, Divya and Humpy played each other in the World Cup finals. In that, Divya did manage to beat Humpy and clinch the title. And here we are once again, where Divya does seem to be in a better position, close to winning position. I mean, it's winning. And she slows down. This is what is amazing about these top players. They just know the right time to slow down, to think through, not rush in, and that's amazing. Feel the pressure and the tension here. I think it's one of the things about a top player is that they use their time really well. Knight to b5, she plays it very quickly. I think she's sheltering her pawn now because she controlled the c pawn, c7 square. So knight on e6 cannot move. This knight is kind of controlled on b8. So this means that the pawn can start rolling. f6 played. a5. King comes to f7. Humpy's hope is that when the pawn goes to a7, she can have knight to b6. And by the way, they are on move 35. Humpy has just 4 seconds. I mean, in some ways, she can reach time control if she plays really fast. But I feel like she's lost hope here. And Divya goes a6, knight b6, knight to d6. Ooh, the king just falls. 1 second left. And 37 moves, and Divya looks up. 37, 3 moves to make in 1 second. That's not humanly feasible. I mean, even if this position, Humpy didn't have very little time. Oh, she loses on time there. Divya played a beautiful game of chess there, and she won with close to 3 minutes left on the clock. That is what she started off with, and with this win, she scored now wins over Ju Wenjun and Humpy. We leave you with some moments after her victory.
Yeah, no, just the three.
Yes. Congratulations, what a game. I see tears in your eyes.
No, that's because of tiredness, not because of this.
Well, you played first Armageddon with black pieces and you succeeded with that, but today you had white pieces. Do you have any preferences? Which color would you play Armageddon?
I think black is easier.
Please tell us what happened today in both games.
Okay, so the first game, I think I tried out an interesting opening, but okay, objectively it's quite bad, not quite bad, but a little bad for white. So I think she consolidated very well and she defended well, so I didn't really have anything in the end, and she was the one pushing. So yeah, I think it was a solid game overall. And the second one, okay, I don't know. Probably, I think I exchanged too many pieces in the opening, and I should have stuck to maybe bishop e3. Maybe I should have castled and gone for some bishop g5 attack or sorts because it's Armageddon. But okay, it worked out in the end. I think d4 was really bad from her because then she gives up all the squares and she allows my knight to go everywhere. So at that point, I was already happy. Even when she took bishop b3, that looked a little bit dicey with d5.
We thought that you dominated the whole game, the Armageddon one. Divya, you like to go to the confessional booth. Does that help you to just talk about your thoughts, about the moves? Just tell us, do you enjoy to go there?
Yeah, I think it's a breath of fresh air because you have to be quiet for so many hours. So then you can just go there and talk. And yeah, you can just let out your thoughts, and I think it also helps because when you say it out loud, you realize what you're calculating, and you realize that some places there are mistakes, some are not. So yeah, it was quite nice.
And the final question: the audience and the viewers are dying to know. Did you get your dry mango?
I think it's there, but I didn't eat it today. Okay. I was too busy on the game.
Well, thank you so much to share your thoughts and congratulations.
Thank you.
Divya.